Well, boys, we're back. We're back with videos. I don't know. It's been so long. I've been so busy. In December, I took a 1 month off work to do a one big blast of streaming because I was in the last month of my year daily streams for the year, which is something an undertaking I had set my mind to do. So we did that, and now it's January 4th, the morning of January 4th. Actually, 3 a.m., 3:35, and I had to come on. I've been living under a rock for so long because I was just too busy with a full-time job and streaming, also full-time almost, or at least in terms of hours a week on average. Yeah. But I just learned something that ground my gears, and I just had to come on. This is baffling to me. Okay, so I know that most of you probably know this because it was apparently so public. But I learned about a woman in France, in Marseille, well, in the province of, in the region, and that was like used and abused, like by a fleshlight, like a fleshlight, like by so many men, like men with families, kids, and wives and careers, and it baffled. Like I read that on Facebook, like somebody talked about it. And I was like, what in the world is this heinous thing? And I know that the soundtrack is probably not very much appropriate to the subject matter. It is what it is, but and I looked into it. I started looking into it, and lo and behold, it was not only true, but like looking at this as like basically a bystander, I shuddered to think, like, how many more times does it currently like does this kind of heinous garbage is going on in the world? Like, okay, so the woman, she has rescinded her anonymity for, I mean, she wanted that to be an example. She wanted to be made, public, and the world to know what happened to her. But ultimately, her name is Giselle Pellicot, woman from France, and basically she was auctioned off by her husband, formerly Alec Christian, by the way. I think, auctioned off to many, 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 many men, and she was basically every time she was rubbed out, unconscious, and the guy would invite men from like a 50-kilometer wide kind of area around his where he lived, and like he would use the web to just solicit men and give tips on how to drug and abuse women, and solicit men to come over and just fucking jump in her jacuzzi and just take a good old cum bath. And I'm like, what does the world come down to? Like, and that made me, and it's only the beginning of 2025, and that made me lose faith in humanity. I'll be honest with you boys. Like, what are we doing? I love cum. I love the idea of coming, as anybody else, as any men, women. But I don't think that intercourse, like the actual finality of coming, is what we as humans really seek for. Anybody can come out all the time. I come 3 times a day, sometimes, and I look like a barrel with a reach of a T-Rex. All right, no woman is looking at me twice. Right? I do that by myself. Okay? I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. And I don't rope in any unwillingly women into my depravity. Right? When I want to get sweaty, I shut down the lights and I burn a candle and I just go to town. Come to Kenny G and we get the essential oils going and we do what we have to. But I mean, what puts the bow for each and every one of us, I think, is the idea, the thought that in this moment in time, the partner that we've been having this exchange with, for that person, we were enough. We were the one for that moment in time, amongst everyone else, every other possibilities and options. It was us. We were good enough. And I think that's what we seek, the comfort of knowing that we have actually been deemed good enough for somebody else. And that's not it, boys. Like this poor woman, this poor elderly woman was the abuse is starting in 2001, and she was already elderly by then. And men ranging from 26 years old to 74 years old came over to her house while she was drugged and unconscious to dip their toe in that pool. And what are we doing? If you need, I'm gonna say this, I hate this, but if you need validation, if you need self-worth, look inward. Like I said, no woman has ever looked my way. Not even once, sometimes. And not only that, but when they look, they get a case of the whiplash like they were in a car crash. Like sore neck and all, because by society standard, I'm not an attractive man, and that's okay. I get it. And since realizing that I'm not, to be chosen one, to be the Mac Daddy of all, I've taken it upon myself to find validation, self-worth, self-love inwards. And by being good at what I do and improving on skills and learning and getting to be a better person in society. I pride myself on the quality of my work as a professional at work. And I work hard and I get the accolades for that. And that it's not giving me that that little bit of a bow on it of being enough for another person like intercourse would. No, but it gives me a variation of that I'm worth it, that I'm worth enough to have my place in society, to have a say at the table of decision making. I do that at work. And last year, I felt like I needed to do more. At the end of the pandemic, I felt like I wanted to do something more to enrich the social fabric and maybe pay a little bit more on my keep and leave a little bit of an impact, a positive impact to the world. And I realized that the two things that I was good at was gaming and yapping, talking. And so I started streaming January 1st last year. I streamed every day, and I all of the money that the stream made was to the benefit of the Shriners Hospital for children, and we raised $14,620 in 1 year. So, I mean, there's a lot of things one can do to find self-worth, self-love, and validation and that abusing elderly women is not it. I mean, I get that society nowadays is a hard place to evolve in, economically and socially. And there's a lot of tensions and a lot of you are either with us or against us. There's a lot of division, but at the end of the day, we all have a moral compass. We all know when we're about to do something wrong that it's actually, it's wrong. We all know. Intrinsically, as humans, we know. We know not to do unto others what you wouldn't do unto yourself. We know that. We've been raised with those principles, whether through religion or morals, but we all have heard of that and have been taught of being good, decent people. I mean, guys, boys, girls, anybody. I mean, if you want to bust a nut, you can do that. Yeah. You have means, right? Just leave people alone. If they don't explicitly say that they actually want you for that activity, they want you, to get your toes in that pool. If they don't say that, don't fucking seek it. Like, hey, calm down and find your self-worth elsewhere other than wrecking gold. Like, that's wild to learn that this happened, and it's such a mundane, normal, ordinary place that I shudder to think how many more of those instances exist out there. And it's wild. And it baffles me. It baffles me that so many people would go for it, would subject themselves to that, and subject her even more so to that kind of inhumane treatment. Animals. Stop it. If you think you have it bad, and if you think that you need a pat on the back and a hug, as we all do, seek it through profession. Do things to enrich your life in a way. Learn music, learn a skill, learn a trade, do something that will get you noticed and that will get you naturally appreciated for what you become. Do that. And maybe by doing something, unexpected and fantastic, phenomenal, maybe that way you will attract actually attention from the opposite sex, or even if you're gay or lesbian, from your same sex, maybe you will attract that sexual attention that you seek for. But don't elderly women, or no women at all for that matter. Nobody deserves this kind of abuse. This is insane. Don't do that. So anyway, Jesus Christ. This is what a start to the year this is. I'm on my break right now. I'm taking a couple days off streaming, after a full year, and I see that. I'm baffled. Like, the trial ended at the tail end of December, and lo and behold, they're all in prison for sure. Fuck, how did we get there? That's insane. Anyway, I had to rant a bit about it, and that's it. Vegan people, God